but we are going to get started with tonight's presentations. So thank you so much for joining us for the second night of the third annual Agriculture Direct Marketing Summit. This is put on with our partners, Kentucky Center for Ag and Rural Development, Kentucky Department of Agriculture, Kentucky Farm Bureau, the Kentucky Horticulture Council, and then the University of Kentucky Department of Agricultural Economics Market Ready Program. My name is Bethany Cox, and I'll be moderating tonight's sessions. And if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to direct message us here on Zoom, or you can email me directly at bethany@kyhortcouncil.org. So just a few notes before we get started. Please note that these sessions will be recorded and available on YouTube after the conclusion of the summit. So if you missed last night's sessions or need to hop off early, not to worry. These videos will be up early next week, and we'll send out an email to all registrants via the email you signed up with once those videos are live. Finally, please keep your mics muted throughout the presentations. We will have time at the end of each session for a few questions. So send those into the chat as you think of them. Last night we had quite a lively chat, which is great to see. So if you agree with something that's presented or have a personal experience with something that's noted, we would love to hear. So very quick intro there. I will actually be the first speaker tonight. So as I said earlier, my name is Bethany Cox. I'm the Direct Marketing Program Manager at the Kentucky Horticulture Council. I've been in this role for 3 years now, or nearly 3 years now, and have gotten to travel all across the state, visiting farms, farmers markets, and agritourism sites. I've worked to help farmers with their marketing strategy and also gotten to promote them on our own Hort Council social media throughout the years. So a huge part of my job has been focused on photography and filming, and through much trial and error, I found some of the best setups for every budget. And today we're going to go through some suggestions. We're calling this our Budget to Bougie series. So let me just pull that up and we can get into that. Okay. Go back to the beginning. Okay. So like I said, we're going to be going through the different levels from budget to between to bougie. And there's a lot of things that can go into this. When we get to budget, we're going to talk a little bit about, you probably have a lot of the items already, which is really nice because you can just start today or tomorrow and start in filming or photography for your business. But it can be just really helpful to make some small changes, really upgrade and see what kind of things you like better. So we're going to start off with, the fun talk of money. This is always just, a sore topic, but it's something that every part of your business you are probably thinking about or should be thinking about. And one of the things that Amanda Kelly, if you tuned in last night, she had 2 really great sessions. One of the things she talked about was it used to be in the past that your marketing budget, you would lose money on that. But we're evolving to the point where if you're making these kinds of investments into marketing, you should be seeing the return on those. And everything that we're going to talk about today, while some of them are investments that you may not make for your business, the ones that you do, you should see a return on those, whether that's just, upgrading your brand or just elevating every part of what you do. And part of that is we always talk about sharing our story, and what better way to share your story than through photographs of your family or things that happen on the farm, a farm video, just sharing little bits and pieces of your life. This doesn't have to be expensive. It can be very inexpensive, but just sharing all of those moments. So what you want to ask yourself is, how much are you looking to spend? You always want to determine this first before you head down and you get really excited and you want to buy a $1,000 camera, which is not something that is a casual purchase. But if you have an idea of what you're looking to spend within, it can really help guide you on these different levels on where you're looking to go. So determine how much you want to have set aside for marketing expenses and how you want to delegate those funds. And your marketing budget isn't going to just be these items, this kind of equipment. If you have an upcoming event this year and you know that you want to do advertising for that on Facebook, that's part of your marketing budget as well. So think about the different areas of where you'll be spending this money this year so that you can gauge how much you want to spend on this. So starting off with our budget. So this is how we started. Myself and my coworkers included who do some of the digital content for our brand or for the Hort Council. Starting budget is the best way to go because, like I said, you probably have a lot of these items already in your home and you're probably already utilizing a lot of them. So we're going to start off with our camera option. And here I have an iPhone, but you can use an Android, or most phones these days have a pretty good quality camera that, like I said, you're probably already utilizing to take pictures around your farm. Now, there are different ways that you can elevate your phone camera settings to already upgrade this. You can switch to shooting in 4K. You can change your frames per second. One thing that you do want to consider with using your phone, though, because it is an item that you have with you all the time, and it's great because it's light. And like I said, it's not a lot to carry out to the different places, all the places you go. But if you're taking pictures of, your children, your grandchildren, your dogs, your animals across the farm, you're going to run into a storage issue. Speaking from experience, I like to take a lot of pictures. And so I have had to upgrade to where I will pay, I think, $2.99 a month to have extra storage. Very, very low cost, but it's something you're going to want to consider. But like I said, you're probably already using your iPhone to take some pictures like this. Our next thing is we're going to talk about a ring light. Now, if you are filming or doing photography, one of the things that you can utilize for free is just natural light. I do a lot of our filming we do cooking videos. A lot of that we'll do in natural light against a window. But the problem with that is it's very restricting in terms of I have to have the videos shot and done between about 9 o'clock and 4 o'clock, or 9 in the morning and 4 p.m. just because the lighting can be really fickle and it really can depend on the day. So sometimes the overcast looks really nice. If you have a lot of sunshine coming in your window, that can cause just random glare. There's really no control with that. Now, I also can use the lighting that I have in my home, but once again, you're going to be dealing with a lot of different shadows, and it's just something that you have almost no control over. So getting a really inexpensive ring light, I've actually gotten one at Walmart before. You can get them on Amazon. I believe there are some that can be extended to above 6 feet, and those are about $20. So not a high cost per se, but this allows you to be able to control some timing with that. So even if you are going to film against a window, you can have this light on the other side of things to help control shadows, which if you've ever filmed before, it is a kind of a pain in the butt to combat those shadows. So having those extra lighting can be really helpful. As you can see with the one that I have here, there is a little notch there for your iPhone. So if you're going to be doing like a CSA unboxing video, or you have a video in your home where you need both of your hands available and you want it facing towards you, this is really great because it's just going to keep things really nice and contained for you. And like I said, that's not going to be an extra fee for that. When we talk about the other different levels, there are other ring lights that you can get that are a little bit pricier and higher quality. But I have found that my original ring light that I have and I'm currently using, the ring light that I got from Walmart or Amazon, has held up really well, and it is great to still use for certain occasions. Talking about budget with backdrops, in the early days of filming our videos and doing photography, we had either a kitchen countertop as a backdrop, or I actually fashioned some kind of backdrop out of a plastic cutting board covered in contact paper. It did its job. I'm all about finagling it so that things work out. But every time that I spilled something on this contact paper or accidentally my knife went into it, I had to replace it, which was very inexpensive and it wasn't too hard to do. It just kind of was a bit of a pain. But it did its job for, I believe, about 2 years until I upgraded into something different. But if you have, a really nice wood cutting board, if you have a nice countertop, these can be really great, inexpensive backdrops for you. The only problem is that they're not movable. So if you're wanting to go to an area that has better natural light, or you're wanting to travel and go and take different photos or videos somewhere else, you can't bring your kitchen counter with you. And that's unfortunate. But if you do use, a cutting board that can go with you, it's just, you're going to be really limited to your size. So if you're filming from above, most cutting boards are going to not fit that size for you. We're also had a question yesterday during our sessions about how to film live videos. Like, should you use a selfie stick? Now, if you already have one of those, go ahead, give it a try. That can work perfectly. That's going to give you a really wide angle. So if you're trying to get, something specific in the background, that works perfectly. No matter what you use, it's going to help stabilize it more than your hand. So if you're filming videos, I really like using these handheld tripods here, not only because you can use it while you're walking around, and like I said, it'll stabilize your video, but also you can set this up on a desk and once again do a kind of hands-free unboxing video or things like that. So having a different tripod like that, and those don't cost a lot at all. The microphone option for budgeting, which we still use partially to this day, is just a simple headphone microphone. So whether you have an Android or an iPhone, you probably received a set of headphones with it. These have a very small built-in mic that you can hold directly to your mouth that you can talk into. It works much better than just your phone microphone because that will pick up quite a bit of background noise and it's not going to give you a very clear quality of sound. Now, using the headphone microphone is very easy. These are easy to pack away. I just throw these in my bag whenever I'm going out to a farm. And like I said, most people already have these. You are going to run into potentially just a few quality issues. And I'm able to combat those just with the different programs that I'll use that I can just block out certain background noise and just kind of hone in on the quality of what I'm looking for. I'll use these quite a lot to just do voiceovers and have not had too many issues with that. But I have enjoyed using some higher quality, easier to use equipment. And then finally, when it comes to our budget marketing technology, we just love Canva. If anyone was on last night, everyone was singing Canva's praises. It is so user-friendly. There's a free version and a paid version. I started out using the free version and got pretty far with it. I think you honestly could use the free version forever if you'd like. I have started to use the paid version probably over the past year and a half, and have found a lot of benefits from it. It's $12.95 per month, $12.95 per month. And with how often we use it, it has just been extremely helpful. This is great for graphics. This is great for postcards, really any kind of digital content that you want to make. A plus side is that you also can do video editing on here. You also can send these, if you make a postcard or something, you can get them printed through Canva and sent directly to your door. And I find that the price is pretty comparable to other printing places. And you know that the image is going to be directly transferred correctly on there because I have had issues with that with other printing places. So yes, so we love Canva. You can do the free or the paid version. Either way, it's pretty affordable and the uses of it are just endless. So going to our between. So this is going to be a little bit higher cost. These aren't going to be things that you naturally probably have in your home already. So it's just going to be a little bit of an investment, but we're not talking hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Well, hundreds or thousands of dollars, that's for sure. So our first item here for our between is a basic DSLR camera. The one that I have pictured here is hundreds of dollars, but my point with this is that you can find a lot of refurbished or cameras found on Facebook Marketplace. I got a really nice DSLR camera a couple of years ago for a quarter or even a sixth of the cost, and still to this day use it. It's been great. A lot of times if you're getting these things through Facebook Marketplace, you can also get the lenses or whatever the kit that the person has with them for a much bigger steal than you would get at like a big box store. But getting a camera like this really helps to elevate your filming and your photography for your farm. iPhone photos are great. Like I said, we still use those to this day, but some of our favorite photos that we use for our marketing and for promotion and things like that, and all of our videos for the most part come from DSLR camera shooting. Extra costs with this are going to be, all of your memory chips that have to go in it, any kind of maintenance or anything. These do have a bit of a learning curve with them, but honestly, the basic ones with a just basic lens, you can watch a few videos. It'll help you with point and shoot, and you're good to go. You can get as into it as you'd like, and there are plenty of courses and videos on it. But I think with the basic, you can really just go at it and take pictures of all of the wonderful things on your farm. The next thing that we are talking about is, and I'll come back to that other slide, is an LED light kit. So this is going to be about double the price of a ring light, but you're getting more lighting for that price. So this kit right here includes 3 lights, and this is about $40 on Amazon. Now, these lights, the more that you have, the better that you are able to control those shadows I was talking about. And like I said, if you're using this to film at any time of day, it's really nice because you don't have to have that small window of the natural light, things like that, and you can have continuity across all of your videos. So these are really great. Another point about these is that these can be both warm and cool lighting. They also can show a bunch of different colors, which I've never needed to use those for, but maybe you will. But the point with warm and cool lighting is in my house, I personally have warm lighting. If I'm trying to match that and intensify it, I have the option to be able to do that with these lights. A mixture of cool lighting and warm lighting is not going to be the best outcome. And so this is just nice to have that kind of control. But there's a ton of LED light kits out there. You can find a bunch of different ones. And these honestly extend to be quite tall, which is nice if you're doing some overhead shooting. Here on the left as well, so this is going to be a mixture actually of our budget in between. So as you can see here, we have a ring light. This is an elevated ring light that's going to cost a bit more than the one that I showed you previously. That's why I'm saying you can get a variety of these things. These are just kind of a guide, if you will. So this one is a nicer one. As you can see, it has another spot for your phone to do filming or photography like that. But what I want to point out is that they're using a flat lay background for this. So this is going to be a board that is going to sit flat on your table, another board that's going to form an L with it, and then there's going to be some screws that are going to just keep those together. Now for this, I would recommend, these can be pretty inexpensive on Amazon as well, but I would recommend getting some basic backgrounds for this, because if you will go and look it up, there are quite a bit of really creative and unique ones and just very fun ones. But you have to think about how often am I going to be using one that is teal? Maybe that is the color of your logo and that's something that you want to use for every single one of your photos or videos. But I like to stick with just kind of a neutral grays, whites, blacks if I can, because those are just universal to use across all different filming and photography that we would do. Now, like I said, these can be quite inexpensive on Amazon. Once again, you can upgrade these and have ones that are a little bit more expensive. So I have some that the boards are magnetic, so I'm able to switch the backgrounds in and out, because I have, I think, 5 or 6 backgrounds at this point. I'm able to switch those out quite easily. I don't need a whole entire board for each background, which really helps me with storage. And those were a little bit pricier. I'd consider those more of the Bougie. But having these backgrounds is really great, especially if you're going to be taking photos for your website of your different products. You can just set this up, throw it on like how they have these set up here, take some photos, upload those, and you're good to go. And you have a nice clean slate in front of you. So those are really great. And like I said, not too expensive at all. With getting a DSLR camera as well, you're going to be looking for a nice tripod. These are not expensive, but this is great if you're going to be filming, because you can just set this up, set it to where you're wanting to film. And if you don't have anyone else helping you, you can just set this and focus it on what exactly you're going to be doing, and it will do all the work for you. Your arms don't have to get tired. You don't have to worry about shaky hands or anything like that. But you'll have that set up. And this is also great if you're going to be taking photographs on your own, because you can just do a point and shoot, that kind of thing, set a self timer, and it's just an absolute necessity when you have a heavier camera like that. We also have here in terms of microphone. So a step up from your headphones is going to be, it's called a lavalier. I hope I'm pronounced that correctly. A lavalier microphone. So you've probably seen these if you've been to a conference. These can just attach to your collar, but they don't have to be held there. They can just be held in your hand. And if you're going around the farmer's market or going around your farm and you're doing, you know, quick snippet little interviews, or even just recording audio to do a voiceover, this is going to be a better option in terms of less background noise. You're going to get a clearer quality sound, because as you can see, this little puff right here helps to diffuse some of that extra sound. And this is just going to make it so you don't have to use the extra technology to change or to balance out all that background noise. Now, you also see here, it has a headphone jack. So you could plug this directly into your camera. You could get this directly into your phone and just record your audio like that. You could plug it directly into your computer. It's just a really great option for that. It's the same as your headphones, just elevated and not crazy expensive. And then in terms of the marketing technology for our between, this is where we're talking a little bit more about using what's on your computer. So if you have an Apple computer, you have Apple iMovie. If you have Windows, there's a Windows video editor. The price with that is just having the computer, but the programs on there are free. I personally like editing our videos with iMovie. I think it's pretty user intuitive. I've heard great things about Windows as well. Or like I said, if you have Canva, you can use a video editor for that. I just find a little bit more freedom and just enjoy it a bit more by using Apple iMovie. But that's completely my preference. You could give both a try and just see what works for you. And finally, so on to our Bougie. So here, we're going to stick with our DSLR camera, but we're going to just upgrade it a bit with some lenses. So you've already bought your base, you already have, you know, a basic lens. And like I said, that can be inexpensive in terms of, you know, sometimes these cameras can go for thousands of dollars, and you could get your camera for $300 with a nice lens, or even less expensive if you're getting it secondhand or refurbished. But at this point, if you're looking to really expand your photography and your filming, you could look into getting different lenses. Now I have two different lenses for my camera, and for me, that is perfect. I really see no need for anything else just based on my personal experience. I have a long range lens and then my basic one. And personally, this has just worked perfectly for me. Lenses can be in the hundreds, sometimes the thousands of dollars. If you're buying them brand new, if you're buying them secondhand, you will definitely get a bargain. But depending on what you're looking for, sometimes you may need a different lens for it. So that would be an extra option for you. And as you can see, they have a really nice elevated microphone here that would plug directly into their camera. And that helps with filtering out the extra noise. For our second, for our lighting for this, so as you can see here, this is a really nice setup. It looks like they're about to do some kind of interview or photo shoot. And here they have these shadow boxes. So we're gonna click ahead. These shadow boxes here are just another way to control the lighting when you are doing these filming or photography. So these can get quite pricey, but once again, you can get these on Amazon, or I'm sure you can get these secondhand. These are really great, especially these are going to be an even clearer, controlled lighting situation. And if you balance this out with natural light, it's going to create just a really, really beautiful setup for you. I don't think that these are astronomically high, or at least I've seen versions that are not crazy. And like I said, it's just a really beautiful setup. I have yet to make this kind of investment myself. I have just seen it in the works and seen how wonderful it is. But I do think that you can get away with or duplicate using the LED light kit from the Between and get something similar with this. Once again, we just talked about, the microphones that would plug directly into your camera. This microphone here is just a desktop microphone. You've probably seen podcasters with it. This is not one that you're going to take out to a farmer's market or on the farm with you. As you can see, it's probably, I want to say it's like 5 pounds. It's quite large. It's not something that would travel very well. This is mostly for recording audio, but you're going to get the best, most crisp audio with these kinds of higher quality investment equipment. This is really great, plugs directly into your computer. You can just save that audio and transmit it directly into your video. And like I said, you won't have to use any technology for this to block out the extra sounds and white noise and things that can just happen. Even if you're in a completely quiet home, there's always some kind of extra ambient noise in the back. For backgrounds, like I said on the in-between, you can do an elevated flat lay background. Like I said, I've been using magnetic ones that were a little bit pricier than just getting a flat lay background on Amazon. I know Etsy has quite a bit of options as well. You could also DIY these, but I've just found I liked the convenience of having the magnetic ones that I do. This is also just a studio backdrop. So because of the size of this, it's going to be a little bit more expensive. That's why it's in the bougie category. And this honestly is not something that I foresee a lot of farms necessarily needing for filming, unless you're planning to do, some interviews or a lot of like face-to-face content. Or maybe even if you're starting a podcast and you want to film the podcast, this would be an option. You can get this, just about everything that I talked about today, but you can get this on Amazon. And it's just going to be pricier due to its size and some of the extra equipment that you would need with it. This is a C-stand here. It's our second to last item of equipment. A C-stand here that's going to help you with filming overhead. I have had it looks like just a little arm that you can just attach to your table and it films overhead for you. That's worked really well for me for 2-ish years. The problem with those is, one, it can be a little unsteady. So if you have your iPhone in it. I always worry that it's going to slip out and fall into whatever concoction I'm cooking up at that point, which would not be ideal. Um, but also, you're never getting quite directly ahead the way that you would like for it to be. So there's just always a little bit of an issue with the alignment of everything. With a C-stand like this, you are getting about as on point as you can over top. It's a lot more secure. It comes with all these different things, and it breaks down really easily into this pack right here. And that's just something that you can store away quite easily. So if you're looking to do, different food content, if you're looking to do different content that you need to be from over the top, this is a good investment. Like I said, not too crazy expensive. And so even if you're doing budget, this is one that I would recommend if you've been using the regular arm that attaches to your table and you're just not happy with it. I would really like to have just a more stable view overhead. And so this is probably a piece that I'll be investing in the foreseeable future. And then finally for Bougie, yesterday, Amanda Kelly talked about how she was starting to use Adobe for her videos and the content that they're putting out for BBoss Online. Adobe is what we would consider our bougie marketing tech for this. It is not exactly user-friendly, in my opinion, and in Amanda's opinion. It can be quite confusing and will require a bit of time to watch videos and to learn all the different ins and outs of it. Now, that being said, when you do master that or you do get a lot of practice with it, the video content that you're going to put out is really high quality. But like I said, if you don't have that extra time to do all those videos, to learn all the things, it just looks like it's in a foreign language. If you've ever pulled it up, it is quite a lot. So that's something that if you want to go down that route, you absolutely can. But I have found that using iMovie or different, less expensive editing software is a lot easier, in my opinion. And then, not that this would be necessarily considered bougie, and bougie is not supposed to be in a bad term at all, but if you're finding that you would rather just have someone come to your farm and do all of this for you, you absolutely can. That is going to be an investment that maybe is worthwhile for you and your family or you and your farm, to have someone come out and bring a drone and film some kind of commercial for you or farm video, or have a photographer come out and do family photos, get some product photos for you, kind of work on that pricing with them. That's nice because you won't have to do all of the time and effort and all the things like this on your own, but you will be paying more for it. The other thing with that is if you have all of these items yourself, you can go out any day that you have time to be able to do and create all this content yourself. If you're having a photographer or videographer come out to your farm, you're probably going to be doing that maybe once a year, once every 5 years, or maybe you'll have them come out every season. I don't know what your budget looks like, but when you have some of the items yourself, you're able to go out as often as you would like and get that kind of content on your own. So just something to consider if you're looking to just kind of get through the process really fast and get those images right now. And hopefully you'll be able to use things like that for many, many years, and you won't need to invest quite a bit of money again for that. So our top tip after just absolutely unleashing all of that information on you is really just to, take some notes, but take it slow, because I, as someone who got really enthusiastic, and I'm still very excited and enthusiastic about the filming and photography that we do. It's easy to just add all these things to your cart, order them, and then they show up and like, oh, I am not as excited to set all of this up and learn how to do all of this and work on all of this all at once. If you are starting at square one, just kind of start slowly integrating. Start with the budget. If you're starting at square one, start with budget, start with the items that you already have, If you find that the headphone microphone is just really a pain and is not working out, then try the next level up. Try the lavalier microphone. Start by swapping in items just one by one and seeing what works for you. We use a combination of all three levels and really like where we're at right now. And that's going to ebb and flow. What it looked like 2.5 years ago was not cute. I cringe at some of my early videos and photography that we did for the account. But learned a lot along the way. And like I said, just figure out what works best for you and your business. And that's going to look different than your neighbor. But deciding on what you want to invest in is just going to be a great step. So if you want to connect with us, we have an Instagram, a Facebook, we have a website, we also have Twitter, and we have all of that listed here. And so if you want to just check out some of our content, we have that all available. I beg you to not go back about 2.5 years to my previous videos, because like I said, it's a little painful. And we all had a discussion yesterday with Amanda Kelly about just listening to your own voice and watching videos over and over it's just the worst. So we have improved quite a lot, and we're always learning. So if anyone has any suggestions of things that they've tried, we would love to hear that. Love to give those a try ourselves. And if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to pop those in the chat and I can answer a few of those. I'm not sure if there are any. Let me see. Okay. So we just had some comments talking about the Canva team paid option just being a really, really great idea, because for $150 a year, you get up to 5 users. So if you're part of a nonprofit organization or just any kind of organization where you have employees on your farm or business that are going to be working with you, this is a great option so that you can work from multiple different computers. You can collaborate on things. So my coworkers and I will work on one graphic that we have going out and we can all work on it together. It's really great. You can see the different kind of changes that go on. So that's been really great. And then the suggestion with that was, if you want to split that up with a group of farmers, you could do 5 farms for that. And that is a steal for the entire year for Canva. So that's really great. Someone else commented that DSLR cameras let you take raw format, which lets you enlarge and keep the quality, which is a really good point. And those different editing softwares, like I said, if you're doing that in between, if you have an Apple computer or something like that, you can use the photos to help edit that quality. Brett had a question if I had thoughts on 1080p versus 4K versus beyond 4K. I don't know if I'm necessarily the best person to make a comment on this. I prefer 4K. It does take up quite a bit of storage, is the only issue. And like I said, on my computer, on my camera, on my phone, storage is always an issue. I'm always having to upgrade to more storage because I can never condense it down, unfortunately. But I prefer to do 4K. 1080p is still really good. Beyond 4K, I haven't had too much experience with that. But I would love to hear everyone's thoughts on that. But 1080p is still really good. And if you ever have issues with uploading things to, Facebook or Instagram or things like that, you can have done the highest quality video and still have issues with that. So that's just something that's kind of, you have to trial and error and learn from that as well, which is not always fun. We'll work really, really hard on a video, upload it, and then it looks like the crappiest quality ever. And it's not, because we put it in some of the best quality we could. And it's just something that you run into. Okay, so Brett also said Adobe Premiere Rush is kind of Adobe's response to iMovie, stripped down compared to the Pro stuff. They do have some experience to make some videos with that. I'd be really interested to check that out because I would love a response to iMovie that's a little bit upgraded from it. But yes, the Adobe Pro is terrifying. um, how vital is Instagram? I'm just not interested in it, but understand that certain age demographics are all about it. To answer this question, in my opinion, it is pretty vital. Like you said, you are reaching a different demographic with that. I'm sure Amanda Kelly yesterday would have some thoughts on this, but for the most part, you really want to be on Facebook and Instagram and honing into both of those audiences. You want to try and figure out your target customer, which Amanda talked about yesterday, how to do that. Figure out your target customer, but you want to be as on the internet as you can be. So she would even encourage you to start a YouTube and to be doing, live videos on Instagram and Facebook and being as active as you can in terms of just keeping your business brand out there for all of your customers. Okay, I'll just answer just a few more questions. Kate said, if you're a nonprofit, Canva will give you a pro account for free, which I would love to look into because we currently pay for our paid Canva, so that would be really great. But like I said, for us, it's worth it. We love it so much. Someone said, we get far more engagement on Facebook than Instagram, but I have our account linked to post on both platforms. That's really great. We've talked about before in previous summits and yesterday a little bit, just when you are scheduling, because Facebook bought Instagram and it's all Meta now, you can just cross post, and it's really, really nice for being able to schedule things out. I can schedule things out for all of April if I would like to right now. And especially if you have multiple people on the account, I can go and pull up a calendar and see what's going on April 12th at 9 a.m. I can see that there's going to be 2 posts going out on Facebook and on Instagram and all these different things. So it's really great for the person that was talking about, is Instagram necessary? That's one way to kind of get around. If you find it painful to handle Instagram, you can just handle Facebook and just have everything cross post over to Instagram. Just make sure that you're trying to stay active with, if anyone comments on your post on Instagram, making sure you stay interacting with them. And then, sorry, last comment. Someone just said that you can schedule the same post for different times on Facebook and Instagram based on popular times on each platform. So that's a good point. Yesterday, we also talked about finding that time, and Facebook will tell you based on analytics what's the best time to post. And so that's just really great that you can, if it's 9 a.m. on Facebook and it's 10:30 a.m. on Instagram, you can just schedule it for those times. It'll go out and you can see what those metrics work for you.